Okay, we're moving on in Chapter 3 to Section 3, which is solving multi-step equations. So far we've done one-step equations and we've done two-step equations. Now the challenge is going to increase a little bit where we have to use more than two steps in order to solve the equation. So couple of things to look at over here. And you may use some or all of these in a particular problem. First thing you should do is combine all like terms, if you can, on each side of the equal sign. So you may not have any like terms that are not combined, but if you do encounter some of those, you're going to want to combine them before doing any inverse operations. The second thing is remove any parentheses. And as we know, we use the distributive property to do that. We've got a lot of experience using the distributive property. And after you do both of these things, you're going to use the same properties of equality in inverse operations as we've been doing to solve for the unknown. Okay? So let's take a look at a couple of examples where we're combining like terms. The first example here, number 1, we have some like terms, 3x and 5x on one side here. So we're going to want to combine those. 3x plus 5x is 8x's minus 5 equals 11. And now we're going to do the same thing we've been doing, following the order of operations from the bottom up. So if we look at our unknown here, we've got subtraction of 5 and we've got a multiplication of 8. We're going to work bottom up and undo the subtraction first with addition. Whatever we do on one side, we're going to do on the other. This particular thing we're doing here is called the addition property of equality. So we've got the 8x coming down. Of course, the opposites combined reduce to 0. And 11 plus 5 is 16. Next, we're going to undo that multiplication with division. Both sides, that's the division property of equality. 8 divided by itself is 1, or just 1x. And then we think our answer is 2. Now, how can we check our answer? We check our answer by substituting, and we're always going to want to substitute into the original equation, not any of the intermediate steps. Okay, so we've got 3, and we're going to swap out that x, and we're going to put 2 in there. I'm going to show my multiplication using parentheses. Plus 5, and again, swap out the x, put 2 in, minus 5, and we hope all of this is going to equal 11. Order of operations, we need to do multiplication before addition and subtraction. So that's 6 plus 5 times 2 is 10, minus 5, and we're hoping that that's 11. Order of operations, we've got addition, subtraction, we work left to right. And 16 minus 5, does that equal 11? And yes, it does equal 11. So everything checks out, therefore we know that x does equal 2. Okay, let's try another problem over here. 3w and w are like terms. 3w plus 1w, remember that's 1, is 4w, plus 4 equals 36. Working from the bottom up of PEMDAS, we're going to undo that subtraction, undo the addition with subtraction first. And 4w comes down, opposites reduce to 0, and 36 minus 4 is 32. We're going to undo this multiplication with division, and anything divided by itself reduces to 1, and we think our answer is 8. We are going to check our answer by substituting, getting rid of the w. Hopefully all of this equals 36. We've got 32 plus 4 plus 8. Whoops, we don't have 32. I gotta get my eraser out. 3 times 8 is 24 equals 36. Now we're going to work left to right. We've got 28 plus 8. Hopefully that equals 36, and it does equal 36. So we are confident that W equals 8. On the next page, we've got some parentheses in our problem here. So as I said, we are going to use the distributive property to get rid of those parentheses. That's always going to be our first move. We've got to break that A and 2 out of there. So 5A just comes down. We're not ready to do anything with it. Distributive property, that 3 is getting distributed to everything inside using multiplication. So 3 times A is 3A plus 3 times 2 is 6 equals 22. Now our parentheses are gone, and we see we've got some like terms we're going to have to combine. 5A plus 3A is 8A plus 6 equals 22. And we're going to subtract that 6 out. And we've got 8A coming down. Opposites reduced to 0, 16. And again, we're going to undo that multiplication with division. And we have A equal to 2, we think. Substitute in, check your answer. 5 times 2 plus 3, 2 plus 2. Hopefully this equals 22. Work in the parentheses first. That's what order of operation says. 4 times 3. We can go ahead and multiply that together. And 10 plus 12 equal 22. And sure enough, 22 does equal 22. Wrote down an extra little 2 over here. And everything checks out, so we're very confident that A equals 2. I'm going to ask you to go ahead and do this problem on your own using this problem over here on the left as a model. Alright, finally, we've got a fraction. Whoops, we got a fraction here. And fractions can be difficult if it's multiplying a sum or a difference here. That's what's happening. This 3/4 is multiplying the difference between 8 and 5. And we could use the distributive property. We can certainly do what we did above. The problem is 3/4 times 5 is going to be another fraction. And 3/4 times A is another fraction. So sometimes it's a little bit easier to get rid of this fraction right off the bat before using the distributive property. You can go either way, but sometimes it's just a little bit easier. So I'm going to recommend you get rid of this division of 4 with multiplication of 4 straight away. In that case, the 4 is reduced to 1, and we've got 3 times A minus 5 equals 36. Now it's a little bit easier to use that distributive property. 3 times A is 3A minus 3 times 5 is 15 equals 36. We're going to add that 15 to both sides. And we got 3A. Opposites reduced to 0. And what do we have here? We've got 51. And we're going to divide out that 3, undoing multiplication with division. 3 divided by 3. Oh, that is my security system. A equals 51 divided by 3. 3 goes into 5 once with a remainder of 2. And 3 goes into 21 7 times. So we think A is 17. Let's check our answer. We've got 3/4. Swap out that A with 17. And we've got 3/4 times 12 equals, we hope, 9. This is a question. Now, if we're going to multiply here, we can multiply this 3 times 12, get 36, divided by 4 times 1 is 4, equal 9. And sure enough, 9 equals 9. So we're very confident that A equals 17. Now over here, I want you to go ahead and try this problem, but beware, we don't have these parentheses over in this problem. So we're going to solve this the same way we've been solving all along, which is to get rid of the subtraction first before we deal with multiplication and division. Thank you.